Deep in the woods, a communication center reaches out to the stars. Signals sent far away into deep space. They might have had some idea about what they'd find, but they definitely weren't prepared for it. This is Cloak by Castindo, and welcome to Video Game World Tours. I love the start to this map. It sets the stage that you're about to explore a very secluded space. Even though there's a city in the distance, you feel super enclosed with all these trees surrounding you. You're forced to walk around this large pond. It does a great job of building suspense before you arrive at the actual building. Basically, the only thing we know about it, according to the description, is that it's a communication center. I love that as a concept for a map like this. The idea of sending signals out way into space and potentially reaching something, that's horrifying. And, well, we'll see how well that worked out for these people. It says Commodore right here, so we'll just call this the Commodore Communication Center. CCC if I'm feeling particularly adventurous. Over here is a big parking lot. There's a handful of car models in this lot, but they're all white. That's kind of bizarre. It's like the Men in Black trope, but instead of everyone wearing black suits, everyone drives white cars. Once I saw this car being lit up, I knew there was something funky about it. Sure enough, there's a catfish. Admittedly not what I was expecting to find, but we can work with that. In fact, I'll just tell you right now, we need to find 5 of these throughout the map. That's something you only realize at the end, but we'll keep an eye out as we go. I played another of this guy's maps before, Stelliferous, and he had a secret to unlock there too. That one took me a while to figure out. Hopefully it's not as bad here. I won't carry the fish with me the whole time. I'll just take a mental note of where they are and return for them later. With that, let us finally enter the CCC. Very awe-inspiring. Almost too impressive for what I'd expect a communication center to look like. On a table nearby are some pamphlets advertising areas in Venice, Italy. Is that enough for me to say we're in Venice? At the very least, I'm comfortable saying we're in Italy. Not that it'll make much of a difference in anything we come across later, but still, good to know. We will go upstairs first. I got a feeling the best stuff is downstairs. I like to save the best for last. Nice looking space. That is a very shiny back panel on the monitor. Oh my god. Please tell me there's not a catfish to find in here. I'll save you the pain of sitting through me looking. I briefly scanned the space and didn't find any fish. I'll just leave a mental note that if I'm somehow missing a fish, I'll come back here to be more thorough. Man, imagine working in this office. Imagine working at this desk specifically. You'd have to zigzag through so many other people's spaces to get here. Hell, you'd probably forget where your desk is. It's like losing your car in a Walmart parking lot. There's a lot of conference rooms on the other side of this workspace, an especially big one here. All these extra chairs and tables ready to go. Whoa, now that's cool. This map creator seems to like adding water to his maps in interesting ways. I was impressed with the decorative water bits in Stelliferous too, but this is striking. This elevator goes down and connects to an area we'll reach later. For now, let's go back to the main entrance and down to the level below that. No catfish on this floor seemingly. Well, except for those. This guy really does love his catfish. Wait, is there a 3rd floor? Guess there is. Whoa. Now that's freaky. It's just all empty. Save for these 2 chairs and a plant in the corner. Ah, I see you back there. You ain't slick, buddy. That's 2 out of 5. We'll be back for you later. Time to go downstairs. By the way, I was no-clipping back to this spot while writing the video, and I just happened to capture this. Yeah, insane isn't it? I'm subscribed to the add-on titled 1 in 10,000 chance for a skeleton to run across your screen every second, and that's the first time I've seen it. I'm pretty sure I've had it installed since I started making source videos again back at the beginning of the year. Though I didn't catch it while recording footage of the game, I had to use Steam's background recording feature to show you that. If it didn't exist, you'd just have to believe me. So I don't count it truly captured on film. Only if I have OBS open and recording will I count it as a true skeleton sighting. And believe me, I'll let you know when it happens. Anyway, yeah, this garage is pointless. Not even a catfish hiding in here. In here, we have a monitor though. You know I love looking at these. That's what, 5 web browsers on the taskbar? Insane behavior. Can't really make out most of these icons, sadly. A weapons rack at a communications facility. Guess this place was expecting to run into something eventually. Oh, here we go. We're getting funky now. There's these clusters of crystals dotted throughout this cave tunnel. Looking at parts of them, it's like you can see into a different dimension. It's bizarre. Heading down one of these paths takes you to the backside of the facility. This is super chill. I'd love to kick back here and gaze out at the stars. Oh, you can see into the caves a little bit from here. Don't worry about that. Pretend I didn't show you it. Then you reach what feels like a missile silo. It isn't that, but it definitely feels like one. There's a ladder up there and it reaches down to a catwalk, but it doesn't lead anywhere. Do you think I'm the only person other than the map creator to notice that? At the bottom of the spiral, you're led into a short tunnel. Going through this side door takes you into some claustrophobic spaces. This feels like Half-Life 1 level design, oof. Oh hell yeah, even got some Half-Life 1-esque goop. I love the goop in that game. This is cool too. Though I wonder what it is. How could it fit into the story of this map? Spoiler alert, I don't know. I see you, little buddy. These guys are getting sneakier and sneakier. That's the third fish, only 2 more to find. Just a moment. This door at the end of the hallway connects to the crystal caves from earlier, and this elevator connects to the 3rd floor. But for a good bit down here, the floor is littered with guns and ammunition. Like, a lot. They have these gun cabinets peppered around with weapons inside, but I guess it wasn't enough to defend themselves. Defend themselves from what, you might ask? I don't know. If they're involved with this, I'm scared to investigate. By the way, if you saw a portal like this at your place of work, would you go through it? Leave a comment down below letting me know. Here we go. Huh. This long passageway eventually connects to the side door that led to the Half-Life 1-like rooms. Oh, I forgot to mention in the last room like this, the keyboards at the computers are placed backwards. Maybe that's just how they do things in Italy. There's also a radio playing music in here. Definitely reminds me of Portal's radios. Where does this? Whoa. Double whoa. This definitely feels like the heart of the facility. I love when Gmod maps play with scale and put you in an incredibly large space. I can't even comprehend what I'm looking at. I'll save more talk about it for the end of the video. But yeah, crazy. And again, through here, there's another empty garage area. This time there's not even any cars, it's just an empty square. What's the deal with that? Another tunnel. Don't mind if I do. Some more office space. Down this hallway is something interesting. Yeah, neat. This creator loves playing with skyboxes. I appreciate that. These crystal tendril things tore a hole in the ceiling, and you see the beautiful pink sky above. I guess this is a studio. Got a set over here. Just a lovely visual. Though there is something more interesting than that. I wouldn't even step foot on this. I'd be terrified of sliding into the abyss. It is a stunning view, though. Maybe I'd risk it for the biscuit, who can say? I feel like Goku on Snake Way. Well, that's different. I guess we're no longer in the Triple C. We're in, like, a fantastical fantasy place. Here's a theater room. There's all these plants on the table, and then on the stage is a lone empty pot. I feel bad for this guy. He's naked in front of the crowd. Nothing cool backstage, sadly. On the other side of this new area is a church-like space. So many pews lining up for the catfish in the front. Yep, only one more left. This is the final room in this space. It looks like a dead end, but you can actually parkour up these ledges. Doing that leads you to this, and I think the way forward is obvious. Triple whoa. This map just keeps throwing curveballs. Now we're in a completely new space with this starry sky backdrop, and in the center is this weird tendril tree with a pool at its feet. And hey, look at that, our last catfish. Put him in the water, 1 out of 5. Now I just need to go back and get all the others we saw. Sigh. It's time-consuming as hell to run back and forth for all of these. I could either pick up one and drop it off one at a time, or slowly carry them all forward. Wait a second, or I could just... Big brain pretzel, how about that? Just weld them all together into a catfish clump. They always told me as a kid, Preston, you'll never weld together a catfish into a clump, you just don't have it in you. I showed them, huh? One time, I was carrying a fish through this and it disappeared when jumping through this teleporter. I hope I don't lose my mega fish clump on this jump through. I'm recording the voiceover before I record footage, so I genuinely don't know if they'll make it or not. Future me, just remember to edit all this out and drop in the appropriate voice line. Hell yeah, they all came through. Aw man, now I gotta restart the map. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wormholes begin to open, the game proclaims. Hopefully we can find some. Well, that wasn't too hard. Quadruple whoa. It feels weird that I can stand in this. I feel like I should be floating. Okay, that didn't take me too far. Wait, so do these just kinda teleport me around the map? That's a bit boring. I need to check them all though. There might be something cool in one of them. Oh, you know what? I bet these empty rooms have wormholes now. I was genuinely 50-50 on whether or not there'd be one here. I was ready for this to be just 100% pointless. This is an exit we can't go through, so it's maybe 90% pointless. Just gonna check all these out real quick. Ooh, this one seems important. Bleh. Of course there's one in the other empty garage room. And yeah, it takes you to the exit we saw earlier. Lovely. Ooh, one in the 3rd floor dark room. I have high hopes for this. Whoa, this is new. Heart. Like the Kevin? Huh, it's empty. I don't know what the store should be. Heart doesn't give me any clues. Is this something my human eyes should be beholding? Guess I have no other choice. Please be kind to me, angelic being. It just brings me back to the normal map. Great. There is one more wormhole of note. All the way back at the beginning of the map, in the middle of the lake, is a wormhole. Going through brings you to a lonely beach. In the middle of the ocean, you're stranded. Well, you would be if not for this wormhole, but I get the feeling someone was stranded here. All of these flares on the ground feel purposefully placed. And that's Cloak. Kind of complicated. It doesn't have a lot of explicit story beats to easily follow. But there are some strings you can tie together, I think. I'll try my best to explain this map in a way that makes sense to me. Maybe my interpretation is wrong, who can say? I just know that it's mine. Feel free to come to your own conclusions with the information provided by the map. So, what's going on at the Commodore Communications Center? Commodore is a very well-funded company. You realize that as soon as you walk in the front door. I've never seen anything this extravagant. But I also get the feeling they're very secretive. Mostly because they're located in the woods here, far away from civilization. But also because all of these cars are the same. Everyone's always going on about how they think they're being gang-stalked by huge black SUVs, but nobody expects the white four-door sedan. Anyway, Commodore has a lot of workers, and a lot of space for expansion. Then you go underground and notice these tunnels with crystals in them. I have a feeling they found these first, and then erected this whole building around them. What these crystals are, or what they do, I don't know, but they seem important for all that's going on here. Which kinda leads us to, yeah. Here's the only bit of lore given directly from the description of the workshop page. Draped in stars and trees, a communication center transmits signals to the deepest reaches of space to trace eons of the past. Unfortunately, they didn't wait long enough. These tunnels seem to be created by the crystals, and then all these flora and tendrils seem to be somehow related to them too. Here's my random crackpot theory. I think the people of Commodore were using these crystals to aid in the sending of their signals. Maybe they were using them to help direct their signals or amplify them so they'd reach deeper into space, and eventually they found what they were looking for. By finding whatever that may have been, it brought this upon them, this lotus flower thing. I'm pretty sure this wasn't here before they moved in, because you can see the tendrils wrapping around and through these structures in the distance. Somehow this flower thing appeared at the base, and all hell breaks loose. These tunnels are opened throughout the base and are even tearing apart the building at points. Then you get to this point, and I'm just kinda lost. There's this sky environment, and then you find this ancient looking temple thing. This place is super bizarre. Look at the architecture. The description states they were tracing eons of the past, but I genuinely have no idea what that means. Maybe the space is related to that? And then you go through the portal where you have to bring the fish to this tree pond, which eventually leads you to a shop that has a back door leading to some biblical looking thing? I don't know, man. Maybe you guys can make more sense of it than me. But you know what? Maybe it doesn't have to make sense. There doesn't need to be some overarching story for this to be a cool map. You're just along for the ride. You're meant to enjoy the vibes. And I'm speaking for all of us when I say that we did. Thanks for watching, Partisans. See you all next time.